Welcome back to yet another episode of Not Yet Mature. This is a very short episode, but today we're going to talk about all about um, actually being productive. Not just the idea of being productive, but actually how you can plan to be more productive and I guess kind of execute on it in a very simple way. So here's the thing, right? So when it comes to productivity, people read all the books, they watch all the podcasts, they download the apps, and that's perfect and great. And a week later, they notice that nothing has changed, or all of their time is so consumed around planning and putting in the information that they don't actually get to the point where they can be productive. So this is a couple of tips that I want to give you. So actually being productive starts with planning and not the idea of planning, right? So keep that in mind. Don't just take out a piece of paper and put to thought the idea of planning. It takes actual planning. So this is what we do in our business and even in my family. What we do is we put aside the time. We schedule a time, 1 day, 2 day, 3 days. It doesn't matter how long it takes. In my household, we took 2 days. We isolated ourselves from our current noise. If that one, to put it in perspective, in my family, what we've did, the kids are in bed. We're done with dinner. The TV's off. We sit isolated in a room, and that's our focus point, right? We don't try to do it when the kids are running around. And in the business, the same. We don't do it in the office. We don't do it in a loud coffee shop. We rent a boardroom and we go and we say, listen, now we're going to talk productivity. We're going to plan around it. And there's a couple of things that you can try. You can try the Pomodoro effect. You can try, anything that works for you. It doesn't matter how you do it. But I'm going to give you some tips on exactly how we do it or I do it and something that really works well. And hopefully it gives you a tip or two to do it exactly the same. Or as I say in my principles messages, like copy and paste is not allowed. Trial what works for you and see what fits into your normal life and kind of is not foreign to you, if you get what I'm saying. Now, the first thing that we do is before we do anything, we establish the priority elements, right? So we go ahead and we, in our family, we prioritized, or not prioritized, before we prioritized, we thought about all the elements in our family, right? So, for example, there's church, there's personal space, there's fitness, there's health, there's family time, there's holidays, there's hobbies, there's everything. Every element is basically a key category that is schedulable on your calendar. So, at the end of the day, you really need to put thought in this. Before you start planning, you take all the elements, all the categories. In your business, you do exactly the same. In your business, you would put admin, clients, finances, innovation, marketing, everything like that, right? Legal. You go ahead and you put everything into categories. Or at least you go ahead and you establish what the categories are. After that, what you want to do is you want to discuss with your partner in your household or with your employees in your business, you want to agree upon the prioritizing of those categories. What is the biggest priority over the other one? And this might seem really easy at first. I promise you, but when you get to the point where you actually need to add something to your calendar, this usually becomes a problem. So, how do we do it? First of all, I would present my view on what is the biggest priorities. Then my wife or my employees or people in my company would present what they see as the biggest priorities. You would make sure to present it. Each person gets a time to present, right? Present uninterrupted. Give your pitch on why this is the biggest priority over the other ones. You've already established the key points, the categories. So now you're establishing what is the most biggest priorities. After that, you should answer the what, the how, and of course the why you see this as the biggest priority. You're going to get to a point where you agree, okay? Because you need to agree. If you don't agree, you pause the meeting, you reschedule it, because if you cannot agree on the priorities for the sequencing, you're going to have problems later on. Now comes the interesting part. When you do your scheduling, right? So we have an annual one, a monthly one, and a weekly one. So we've got the annual big things that we know this is what needs to happen in the year. Then per month, new items come and we review and we change. And per week, we just highlight what happened in the week and see what we need to change, right? So what happens is now you come to present each task within those categories, right? If it's God and you say, but I need to go on an outreach or be involved at church, if it's in your business that you need to do pitch decking or whatever it is. The purpose of this, by the way, is not to micromanage your task, your day-to-day actions. It's just to do your calendar scheduling, right? Your day-to-day actions you can do on any other technique. We usually, in our company, we do the Pomodoro effect, and that you can do separately. This is great to plan in your week, right? When you have your weekly meeting, you can say, these are the elements for the week. Now I can micromanage my week. I can say, I can break it down to hours, to days, to things like that. That's fine. This is not what the exercise is about. This exercise is about the following. So you've established your priority. So when you put things in your calendar and you, for example, said in your personal space that this outreach is important, 3 weeks later, you get an invite from a friend's wedding to attend their wedding, it becomes easier. It's not easier, but it becomes more valid to say no. I can't do that because that was not, puts in a friends and family category that prioritized lower. Or maybe that prioritized higher in your family, and you can say, actually, I had this event, but this is a higher priority, so I can shift this around. So when you do your productivity planning, always give preference to the highest priority that you pre-established, and then you can move things around. You move things around based on their probability. If two friends invite you, one is work related, one is friends related, whatever had the highest sub priority, that one you keep in place and the other one you reschedule. Don't go and try to please people. Don't go and just put your plate full and think you didn't plan. Because if that thing is in structure or that structure is in motion, you're now in a position to actually go and be productive. A hefty tip, something small. So that's what we do is we first establish the elements in the categories, then we go and present the priorities. Once we've agreed upon the priorities, we look at how things are coming in. We put the known in the annual calendar and the rest we review monthly, and we present it in the same manner. And weekly we go and we just evaluate to see how the day-to-day actions, like who's picking up the kids, who's making food, who's doing this, and it works absolutely brilliantly. Well, that's it from our side. Have a good one.